Yeah, no, we just looked at, things that we did well and what we need to improve upon, as well as just some tendencies that we need to break moving forward.
Are you guys planning to fly out there Friday or Saturday?
We're gonna leave on Saturday.
Okay. And is that a result of what happened on the LA trip, or what benefits do you see from just going out there for a night?
Yeah, so I talked to like all our medical people and Gizzy with our strength coach, Flea, Adam Corzin, our nutritionist, and they just said, as well as I consulted some other people as well, but just what I came to find out was just that the 2 hour time difference really doesn't affect our guys a whole bunch. It's harder on teams going from West Coast to East Coast. So, coupled with the fact that how I felt the Chargers trip went, I just thought this was the best route to go for our football team.
Is that also a result of it being moved to the night game? Had it stayed at the earlier, you were still going to go Saturday?
Yeah, we were going to go Saturday regardless.
I knew you probably would self-scout and across the hall any bye week at whatever point, but considering the history, I guess, between the coaching staffs, the fact that the 49ers played here last year, so they're familiar with Mike, how important was that, especially that tendency breaking part of this for you going into this week?
Yeah, I think it's important no matter who you're playing. I mean, you always got to take a good, hard look at yourself and study what everybody else is studying, because everybody's trying to scheme up each other in this league. So, yeah, you definitely want to, even out some things tendency-wise, and build upon things that you think you're doing a good job with.
Is there an inherent challenge, or is considering how familiar everyone is, and I know as time goes on, the years can maybe break some of that stuff, but it's just, Steno was there just a year ago.
Sure.
And things like that. So is it, with Saleh and Nathaniel, is it tougher, or is it?
I think sometimes we have a tendency to maybe overthink some of those things, knowing what your opposition knows. So, I think every year it brings new challenges, no matter who you're playing or how familiar you are with the opposition. And all I know is this: when I cut on the tape, I see a damn good football team. I mean, they're 9-1 for a reason. One of the top defenses. I think their offense is explosive. They've got a lot of guys that they've been missing as of late, and still finding ways to win games. So certainly, we're going to have our work cut out for us. We're going to have to play our best ball to come out of there with a win.
So what were the conversations like, Matt, with Kyle as you're formulating your offensive plan when you were together, and now how you've taken it to Green Bay?
Yeah, well, there's definitely a philosophy there of trying to marry up the plays and the run game with the pass game that I think that we both that he taught me, and again, they do a great job of keeping you off balance. I think that's one of his strengths is he always seems to be a couple steps ahead of the game, and I think he's done that for a really long time.
Do you talk to him during the season much?
Occasionally we will talk, but there'll be not a lot of talking this week. Honestly, the time I talk to him the most is usually if I'm FaceTiming my brother, or and he's in his office. Or
Did you watch the Niners on Sunday?
I did.
So what do you watching when you're watching a game live? Are you just kind of relaxing and watching, or do you have a coaching eye to it? Because obviously you're going to come back in here and Monday, Tuesday, and break it all down too.
Yeah, I was watching it while I was in here, to be honest with you, and you're trying to get a feel for the flow of the game, and just it's definitely not as easy to see how you want to attack somebody off the TV copy. It's definitely easier to see off the coach's film, but there are certain things that you can pick up.
And I know it's week 11, you're coming off a bye, and almost everyone says, well, we always need the bye just to kind of get well, but you had just about everybody available today. How rare do you think that is, that you're taking a quote-unquote, knock on wood, healthy team to a week 12 game?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it speaks to the support that we have around this organization in terms of helping keep our guys healthy. I think it speaks to our players taking care of their bodies. And with anything like that, there's also some luck that's involved there too. So, but we're in pretty good shape right now.
So, man, a lot of times when you've had injuries and things like that, you're trying to work a lot of guys in. You've got a healthy roster now. Are you in sort of the opposite mode where maybe you start narrowing roles and focusing on more guys playing more time because they're healthy and you don't need as many guys? Or do you want to just keep rotating in every position?
Yeah, I think first of all, we're always about competition, and we want the best 11 out there. And however we feel it is the best way to attack a team, that's the guys that we want out on the field. But we've got a lot of good players, and competition is stiff at a lot of the positions. So as long as we feel like there's an equal level of play, we'll play as many guys as we can. I think one of the benefits of playing a lot of guys is, first of all, you keep guys fresh, and second of all, if you do, have a couple of injuries, then you've banked reps for guys. So it's not just, their first time out there.
Matt, do you think the best part of Elton Jenkins' play, do you think?
Oh, there's been so much good, both in the run and the pass. But what I love about Elton is just the consistency and the level of effort that he brings each and every day on every play. He gives it his all. I think it's a credit to himself. It's a credit to Adam Sinovich, Luke Buckus, and also the veteran guys that have kind of taken him under their wing, and that's why I think he's doing so well.
Matt, when you look at the 49ers defense right now, one, what did you think the job Robert's done with that unit? And two, what has it been, for them to kind of make that jump? What do you think the difference has been, to be as suffocating as they've been so far this season?
Yeah, first of all, I think Robert's, I've always had a lot of respect for him. I've known him a long time. He's as detailed as anybody I've been around, and, he's got those guys. They play extremely hard. You can see it as soon as you cut on the tape. And anytime you get that level of effort with really good players, that's why they're one of the top-ranked defenses in the National Football League. And I think one thing that they've done really well is just knowing his background. Obviously, he comes from the Seattle system with Pete Carroll and all the good defenses that have come out of there. But he's mixed in some more quarters concepts. They play a little bit more man, and he's doing. There's just more variation in what he's doing as opposed to in years past. And again, it all starts up front with them. They're as talented as anybody when you look at that defensive line, and they can just roll fresh bodies at you play after play after play. So, but I spent a lot of time watching them over the last few days, and this is going to be a great challenge for our offense.
You guys were in a bit of a unique situation where you obviously had the week to self-scout, but you got to see two of their games and not just one. So as you went about that self-scouting and any course-correcting that came out of that, how much did you do that with the larger picture, the final 6 games and the big scope in mind, and how much is it about devising a game plan just for the 49ers?
Yeah, I think you got to keep that in balance. Again, you're always you can never look ahead in this league. You got to stay in the moment, stay focused on the task at hand, because we know it's a pretty big task. So you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, but at the same time, you do want to have kind of a vision of what you want to do moving forward.
With your self-scouting, without giving away game planning things or things that might tip off the Niners or anything, is there anything that you saw that maybe you can, obviously the numbers. You've given up a lot of yards.
There's a lot that I saw, yeah.
Yeah, you've given up a lot of yards, but your red zone's been good, so you haven't given up a lot of points.
Yeah, certainly there's a lot of things that, that's pretty obvious in terms of what we need to clean up from a defensive perspective of giving up the big plays. I think from an offensive perspective of staying ahead of the sticks and not having the negative yardage plays. I think when you look at us offensively, 3rd down and long we've had way too many of them. I think we've been pretty solid when it's 3rd and 7 or less, those 3rd and manageable situations. But it's tough sledding in this league when you get 3rd and 8 or more. It's tough. And it's a credit to some of the teams that we played, no doubt about it, but a lot of it has been self-inflicted at the same time. We've had too many penalties, just pre-snap penalties, discipline penalties that we've got to clean up in order for us to be the team that we want to be. And then on special teams, it's just more or less we got to put a consistent product out there. It's been inconsistent. There's been some really good moments, and then there's been some really bad ones. So it's just a consistency all across the board.
How have you started to work through the messaging then? I guess this week you mentioned you can't look too far ahead. However, it is late enough in the year to know this NFC, it's a tiebreaker game. You guys can then control destiny, so to speak, with a win in terms of seeding. So how are you thinking about that, or going to try to communicate that this week of staying in the moment, but also knowing what it could mean down the line?
Well, I think our guys have done a great job all season long of just attacking it one game at a time. And not only one game at a time, but one day at a time. And that was the message. And again, when you're playing against they're 9-1. So you can't look any further than that right there. Again, you're going to look at what we need to clean up on our end, and then just how we're going to go about attacking the Niners.
What's Tremont meant to you? I'm not sure what you knew about him before he got here, but here he's 35 or 6. He's the oldest DB in the league, and he's playing well for you guys.
Yeah, no, he's such a pro, and I don't think it's any coincidence why he's lasted as long as he's lasted, because of his approach on a daily basis. I think he's a great veteran presence in that room and a really good mentor for those young guys.
Oh yeah. Young Moolah, baby.